how to create wealth and how to reach financial freedom faster? Where do they kind of get that confused? What you can ultimately do about it and how you can reach the results that you want in your life financially faster. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, I want to talk to you about passive income versus active income. What's the difference? Where do people kind of get the understanding of how to create wealth and how to reach financial freedom faster? Where do they kind of get that confused? What you can ultimately do about it and how you can reach the results that you want in your life financially faster. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk about really quickly. I'm going to go to the board here. Let's talk about what is active income, right? So active income is simply that. So when we talk about active versus passive, active is simply saying you are actively working for it. This could be your job, it could be a business that you run, it could be a side hustle, it could be whatever it is. But the bottom line is, a lot of people and this is why I'm doing this video, is a lot of people just want to go out and they just want to get this elusive passive income handled, right? So they want to go and get passive income, and this is what they're striving for, but they don't realize that you can't just start with passive income. Unless you're one of the very few people in this world that is blessed with a trust fund or that's blessed with resources, maybe come from a well-to-do family that's able to get you off your feet and going really quickly and start with resources, then it's really hard to have the passive income kind of take off for you right out of the gate. So what we have to do is we have to figure out a way how to start off on the active income side and build a tunnel, to be able to go from here, dig a hole and get our way over here. And the only way that you dig a tunnel is with sweat equity, right? We gotta understand, how do we grind our way into passive income? And so the biggest way to do this, and a lot of people talk about this, and the bottom line is, we can't shrink our way to wealth, but at the same time, we always want to be thinking and operating as efficiently financially as possible that we possibly can, right? And so what we're doing is with active income, we're looking at income, right? So I would say a job. We're looking at side hustle. We're looking at activities like budgeting. We want to make sure we have a budget because anything we measure improves. And if we don't have a budget, what happens is we bleed money. And so every time we spend $1, right, and we don't have a budget, let's say we're bleeding $200 a month, right? Unnecessarily. That $200 is $2,400 a year. So when we spend that $2,400 a year, and almost everybody I know is bleeding $200 a month, which is crazy. But the bottom line is, when we spend $2,400 that year, not only do we lose that $2,400, but we lose what that $2,400 could earn for us. If we were to take this $200 a month, $2,400 a year, and instead of blowing it unnecessarily, we recaptured it, we put it down into this pipeline, and we reinvested the $2,400 per year in passive income, what would that turn into? And then the thing is, when we start investing in passive income and getting the active income, saving it, putting over in the passive income side, this is where the power really starts to happen. We let this compound, we don't spend it, we don't increase our lifestyle, we don't increase our standard of living with any of the money that we have over here. The purpose of this is to get passive income, and the goal is to get this passive income to the place where we have freedom. Let's say we're trying to get to $10,000 per month in passive income. The goal is to take the active income and funnel as much of that money over into passive income producing assets as quickly as possible. This is why I wrote this book, Cash Flow Hacking, because it's not a matter of how much do I have in net worth. It's not a matter of what my assets are. The bottom line is, I could take this and I could say, hey, I want to go out and I want to have $1 million, right? I want to have $1 million. Well, it doesn't really matter that I have $1 million. What really matters is, what does that $1 million produce for me? I can tell you straight up, I'd rather have $10,000 per month, that's $120K per year of passive income, than I would having $1 million in my bank account, because of the fact that the bottom line is, this $1 million, using the 4% rule, is only going to create $40,000 per year, right? So when we look at $40,000 per year, that's not going to change anybody's life. And while everybody's striving and playing the wrong game of trying to save to $1 million, they don't realize that that's really only going to get them to $40,000 a year. That's not going to change your life. But what will change your life is being able to have passive income that will last forever at $120,000 a year. Now, the problem is we've been told this lie that we should go to school, get a job, invest in a 401k, put our money in IRAs and qualified accounts and defer taxes and do all these different things because when we're 65, we're going to take a step back. It's not going to cost as much to live. But the bottom line is we have all these economic forces working against us, and most Americans have bought into this paradigm, and that paradigm is setting them up to fail. And that's why 95% of Americans in this world are ending up at retirement having to reduce their standard of living and not able to maintain it because of the fact that they're playing in this financial system that is actually designed for them to fail. That's why I say we have to be focused on investing for cash flow. Now, I'm also a believer that the human brain is only going to allow you to put 100% of effort into something that you believe with 100% certainty you can be successful with. Now, if we take the average American and we say, hey, you got a household income, I'm going to just slide this over here. We have a household income of, let's say, 50,000 times two people making 50,000, that's $100,000 of household income, right? So we have 100,000 of household income right here. And let's say that $100,000 you are thinking about, okay, down the road, what do I need to maintain my standard of living? Well, let's say 25% of that is covered by Social Security. So now you have, I'll just do 25% Social Security, even though if it's me, guys, I'm not banking on Social Security one iota. So, but let's just, for the sake of this, I want to be really conservative, and anybody that wants to be a hater and say, oh, Chris, you forgot Social Security. Well, I'm gonna include this in there for you. So $75,000, if 25,000, just to maintain 25% is covered by Social Security, $75,000 is what your standard of living is, what you're going to have to cover with your savings, right? Because this 25% is going to be covered by Social Security. But here's the bottom line. When we get to retirement, if you're 35 or 40 like I am, 25 years from now, to maintain your standard of living at 100,000 right now, let's say once again 75,000 because 25% of it's going to be covered. 25 years from now, you're going to need at least $150,000 per year, right? So $150,000 a year, that's because inflation at 3%, that's about what it's going to take. It's actually going to probably be a little bit more than that, but I'm just, once again, trying to be hyper conservative and keep numbers around to keep a principle being taught here. And at $150,000 a year, utilizing this 4% rule, $150,000 a year, I don't know what you need to earn. Let me get this calculator out here. Should have done this ahead of time, but I didn't. So let's go 150,000, 0.04. You need $3,750,000, okay? So you need $3,750,000 just to maintain your standard of living at your $75,000 today, and that's accounting Social Security for it. So I don't know many people, remember, the human brain is only going to allow you to put 100% of effort into something that you believe with 100% certainty you will be successful with. And so I don't know many people alive right now that say, hey, for the next 25 years, if I save $10,000 per year, that's 10% of the 100,000, right? Between the family, 5,000 each, the spouses, the husband, the wife, whatever, 10,000 a year for the next 25 years. I don't know many people that believe with certainty they're going to hit $3,750,000. Now I know that everybody would say, well, Chris, if you do 10,000 a year times 25 years, that's 2.5 million. So that's not that much growth. You should be able to get there. But the bottom line is, what happens if you retire? The sequence of return, happens because let's look at a chart here, right? So if we're saving right now, we're saving that $10,000 and it gets up here, and we'll just say 3.75 mil right here. That's where we're getting to right here. That's where you get to. And that is the target date. But what happens if 2008 happens, or what's going on in the economy right now? We're in this correction right now. And guess what? The market is cyclical. It's not linear. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. We're going to have all these things happen. So what happens, for where we are right now? I'm 40, let's say 25 years out from now, like in 2057, right? Let's say I get to this place and I'm doing this plan. I'm the average person in America right now. And right before I get there, the market goes down 30%. And now I'm looking at this going like, well, holy cow, I've got this big gap that I got to fill and I don't know what to do. It felt like I was right on track right here. I had 2 years to go. I should be there. But now the market tanked. I got to wait for it to build back up, which means instead of 2057 retiring, I'm going to have to work until like 2065 just to get to where I want to go. And at 65 years old in 2057, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to work till 73 in that environment. So this is why I'm a big believer. It's not just about what you're doing. It's about your financial strategy. It's about your financial structure and making sure that you are set up to win in every environment. And so when I look at this, when I look at active income versus passive income, and I know that's a lot of information that I hit you with right there, but what I'm talking about is rather than doing all that, what if instead of trying to save $3.75 million over the next 25 years to get to $150,000 a year of income to make sure I can not have to take a step backward in retirement, what if we just said, let's just simplify this and stop playing the game that is really designed for us to fail and started investing for cash flow? What if we said, hey, you know what? Let's invest for cash flow. Let's start saying we're going to take a portion of our active income. We're going to start putting this money, operating more efficiently, taking that $200, that $500, that $1,000 a month, saving it, putting it over here, saving it with the intent of investing into cash flow producing assets. I love turnkey real estate personally. That's why I wrote this book. If you haven't got this book, go down in the description. There's cashflowhackingbook.com. You can get a free copy. You can go to Amazon. You can get it for $20, or you can go to cashflowhackingbook.com, get it for $8.95. I cover the cost of the book. I ask you to cover the cost of my warehouse distribution center to ship it, package it, mail it to you, that kind of stuff. And that's it. It's literally within 3 cents of a break-even offer for me. I think I make 3 cents when you get this book. That's really all it comes down to. It's literally, I got it dialed in that close for you. So I want to cover this for you because you understanding the process of investing for cash flow. Here's the deal. Your brain, when you're making $100,000 a year as a family, your subconscious can wrap your head around, because you've had $10,000 probably in your life before. You believe it, you know it, it's tangible, you can feel it, you understand it, you know what that's like. You've probably never had 3.7 million, so your subconscious is going to constantly be fighting you. There's an amazing book, it's called The Ant and the Elephant by Vincent Pacenti. If you haven't read that book, you need to go read it. This will speak to this point. If this is something you're struggling with, you need to understand that, you need to go check it out. And so from that context, what we're talking about here is rather than trying to go out and invest for 150 grand a month 25 years from now and saving up $3.75 million, let's figure out and start chunking away and getting small wins to invest and try to chip away at this $10,000 a month of passive income, right? Because now I can show you in a way, what if I could say, hey, instead of saving 25 years to get to the plan, what if we could get $10,000 a month of passive income in the next 10 to 15 years? You could retire early. You have more control over the results in your life, and that's what this is about. And so if you haven't, that's what this book is all about, is teaching you the path to be able to reach financial freedom in the next 10 to 15 years at the most. And that's it. So anyway, I hope you found value in this. I know I move fast. I know I kind of bounce all over the place, but this is super, super important stuff. I think everybody needs to understand this to have control of your financial life, have control of the results in your life, and it helps you show up more powerfully in your life, show up differently to make the impact that you were put here to make. So that's it. Make a comment below. If you have any questions, I'm happy to engage with every single comment. I love it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. That way you get notified every time I launch a new video. And until next video, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.